Hey you. Me? Yeah, you. Do you want to look like this? Have an inventory like this? Well, sure I would. All you need to do is join my Forgotten Desert server. Well, okay, I don't see an issue with that. Yeah, you just gotta click this link and join me on the French servers, because you know, you'll get a better price there. Well, no, that's okay. I can just switch my parent dashboard settings and change the language myself. No, you gotta click this link. Why would I do that? Because it's easier, you know? You can just switch it through here with the click of a button. You don't have to do that whole parent dashboard thing, you know? Yeah, but I can just do it myself. Like I've switched my account before. No, just click the link. It'll be fine. You know, now that I'm thinking about it more, you can't even log into animaljam on the web anymore, so there would be really no point of using the link. Well, that's just, well, you're trying to hack me, aren't you? Yeah, I am. Surprise, I'm actually on a member account for once. So I actually did want to talk about this because, well, this isn't exactly a new thing. It's kind of been around for actually years now. I've seen a lot of people actually fall about for it recently because not a lot of people actually know about this because a lot of players that are active right now are either returning to the game or they just have never heard about this. And the main one I'm going to be talking about in this video, I don't think I've made a video on before. That's kind of why it's taken me a while to actually cover this on the channel. I thought I had made a video on it before, but no, I haven't. You know, it might be a little concerning that it's getting to a point where I can't remember what I made a video on and what I haven't. That's an issue for later on. Also, make sure to join the light pink address in the comments and the description below. You already know all the typical giveaway stuff, so yeah, let's just hop into the video. So the Forgotten Desert is the main adventure in the game to a lot of people. This adventure is the kind of main way people try to build worth on the game, especially when they're just starting out or just starting over. You know, the adventure prizes from this adventure are the best prize pool in the entire game. Like, you will get the best items from this adventure in the game. So a lot of people flock to it for a very obvious reason. And the downside of this adventure, though, like a lot of the other adventures in the game, it does take a lot of time, usually about 10 minutes per game, and you know, you're averaging like 4 prizes, and a lot of the prizes most of the time are kind of bad, you know, just kind of out of store seasonal items or even in-store items. But the good items usually are like clothing betas, den betas, and short spikes, I believe, are still in the adventure prize pool. So when you're hearing someone advertise that, hey dude, you know, come over here and get some better adventure prizes or an increase of better prizes on different servers, of course people are gonna want to jump the gun on that. And that's kind of where we come into the main topic of the video today, where people are pretty much falling for a hack that is advertising better adventure prizes in the Forgotten Desert on other language servers. Now, I talked about other languages on the game, other servers on the game, quite recently on the channel, actually, if you want to go check that out and how they work in depth. But a lot of people are falling victim to a phishing link where, you know, someone will approach them, you know, being like, hey, go to this website and it'll transfer you to the French animaljam, for example, and you can, you know, join me on there and host a Forgotten Desert in French on there and get better prizes from that. Now, number one, I don't have an example of what the phishing link looks like or whatever, but usually if you're clicking a link to log into animaljam, it's not going to be animaljam anymore. Okay, the only way to play Animaljam Classic now is through the desktop app. Any way for them to click to change your in-app settings is not a thing. The only way to change your account settings is through the parent dashboard, okay? So phishing links for this obviously are very suspicious. I don't think that's too far-fetched to say. But most people, when they come back to the game, they're not going to realize that, you know? They're going to be like, oh, well, maybe that's just, you know, a way to switch over your region without having to go into the parent dashboard or something. Or maybe a lot of people don't actually know how to switch your kind of in-game region or language over to another server so you can play animaljam in French or German or whatever the case might be. But to put a nail in it, any link that is promising you to change anything about your account or bring you to another server or anything like that is fake. It's going to take your account's credentials or your account's cookies from your computer or even keylog you at some point, and your animaljam account will be in big risk, and maybe even other accounts as a whole. And animaljam actually came out about this. They returned the little "Hey Jammers" pop-up you used to see back in the day. They don't do it anymore because that's like a manual thing they have to do, even though they probably could set like an automatic thing up to, you know, just set up generic messages for that. I'd like if they did that. They probably won't though. But I'll throw the screenshot here if I can find it. This is probably from the homies over in Jambler, because I remember seeing it in there. They pretty much sent out a pop-up saying, you know, hey, there isn't better prizes on different languages servers, and people who promise this are scammers who try to gain your information with links. That's actually word by word what that said, because I'm looking at it right now on my other monitor. I think this is like one of the first times they actually flat out talked about like information stealing through links as well, which is kind of, it's good of them. But it's also the first time they actually came out and talked about like this kind of myth of different servers having better prizes on them, which we'll talk about more about TFD myths near the end of the video. But there are two other hacks or kind of issues with the Forgotten Desert I have seen over the last few months as well, outside of this phishing link, which one of them relates to bots in the game. I know, we're gonna be talking about bots again. Like, trust me, I'm really not trying to milk the topic of bots, but like, it actually affects so many things on the game, and so many people use it to mess with the game in so many ways. It's actually really annoying. I don't know if I'll be able to find a screenshot for this, because I remember this being damned to me like a few months ago about someone actually having this whole network of accounts. Pretty much, they had like 12 accounts or something, and what they would do is they'd have like 12 member accounts with eagles on them, and they would pretty much just be set up automatically going into the Forgotten Desert lobbies and farming prizes through that. Now, I don't know if these were all controlled by one person or what the case was, or if they actually paid for membership on all of these accounts, and or if they were active on all of these accounts as well, doing it at the same time, or if this was genuinely just like them setting up a tool to automatically do this. Either way, one person was just botting the adventure like this a few months ago to just automatically get prizes. I don't know if they were moving in the adventure, or if it was just like they just sat in the adventure AFK and just didn't help out whatsoever and relied on other people collecting the prizes, because a lot of people do that. Yeah, I see you guys, you little lazy mutts, leeching off the other players that are actually doing the work. Just a little side rant. What's the even point of even doing that? Because you're gonna have to wait to get the prize anyway for the other people to do it. You might as well contribute it and make it faster, okay? That's really dumb. So if you do that, just stop and, you know, actually engage in the adventure. You get other things as well, so, you know, actually do it, please. And the last thing, I haven't seen that much recently, but I do know it's still a thing in the game, and it was kind of frequent a few months ago and over the last few years anyway. And it's partially the reason why spikes were removed from the adventure, and that's people auto-completing the adventure, meaning, you know, you'd go into it to a lobby and it would just be automatically completed. Like, you'd instantly get the prizes from the prize pool because a hacker would pretty much collect all the gems essentially in an instant. And this was partially the reason, as I said, why spikes long collars, like the one I'm wearing on my neck here, were actually removed from the game or the adventure. I made a video on that when it actually happened a few years ago, and it affected the economy a grand amount that it's only now that Animaljam's economy is starting to recover from that. And trust me, the economy is hot garbage right now as well, don't get me wrong, but back then when spikes were getting into the game, essentially being farmed by hackers through this, it was really, really bad. But as I said, Animaljam kind of removed spikes from this, and it led to a lot of those hackers just not even bothering with the Forgotten Desert anymore. So you don't see it as much, but it's still definitely a thing, I'm pretty sure, that people can do. As I said, it isn't as frequent in these last few months, but it is an issue that is known about, so I figured I'd talk about it here. So to wrap up, the known about issues or hacks or whatever with the Forgotten Desert are as follows. There's phishing hacks promising you to take you to Forgotten Desert in French so you can get better prizes. Okay, that's not real, it's not a true thing. Second of all, there is a botting issue where there are people using automated accounts to try farm prizes for their own gain, with people with those accounts being AFK presumably, and taking up a slot that an actual player could be taking up. And third of all, there are hackers that are auto completing the adventure sometimes. As I said, it's not as frequent as the first one on this list, but it is a known issue that I figured I'd talk about. And also, if you do actually run into that where a hacker is, you know, auto completing an adventure and you get the items from it, I really encourage you just recycle the items you got from that adventure and move on to the next one, even if they are good items, because this used to be a pretty big issue, as I said, a few years ago when spikes were still in the prize pool, and those that were bringing public people, like going into public rooms and bringing them into the adventure without them knowing that it was a hacker and then getting the prize instantly. A lot of players unfortunately got banned from it because Animaljam couldn't distinguish if it was a real player just unknowingly joining the adventure, or if it was a person that was complicit with the hacker and trying to benefit off the hacker as well. So it was really unfortunate, but just in case case, if it does happen to you, just recycle the items and move on to the next one into a legit lobby and actually work for the items, and you should be good to go. As I said, that was only a few years ago. I don't know if animaljam still bans people for that. If they don't know, I know they ban people for doing, you know, auto completing in the adventures still, by the way. Okay, they do ban people for doing these things, but just to be 100% safe and risk-free, just recycle the items. Plus, you probably want that accomplishment as well for, you know, putting in that work, so might as well. And I figured I'd talk about the myths that are involved in the Forgotten Desert, because I still get comments, actually, surprisingly, about people talking about Forgotten Desert myths, even though the adventure's been in the game for about 12 years now. Okay, first of all, ground gems, you can, you know, collect those. You can collect gems in any order, okay? Doesn't matter which order you do them in. You can collect them in any order, in any way you want. Green, blue, silver, purple, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter which order you pick them in. It's okay. Ground chests, however, if you pick them up, it will not affect your probability of good prizes or anything like that, okay? That's a very big myth for this adventure. You can pick them up no matter what, and it's gonna be okay. And the third one, I'm pretty sure this is the only 3 that are surrounding this adventure. This is more relating to the start of the video. There are not better prizes on different language servers. It doesn't matter which server, this different language, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter where you're playing the Forgotten Desert from, or on which server you're playing it from. You're gonna have the same prizes no matter what. So there's no way of increasing your chances for better prizes, period. The moment you load in to the adventure, I'm pretty sure your prizes are already predetermined. So there's no way of making your chances any better. Just play out the adventure normally, as you normally would, and you should be good to go. And by the way, you should just pick up the ground chests anyway. You get extra experience for that, and you can actually get some good items from it. So you might as well do it, right? Yeah, let's go wrap it up here, I think. You know, I figured I'd talk about this. It took me a while too, but hopefully too many of you didn't fall victim to this. I know another video about hacks, but I think this one is definitely needed for future reference at the very least, if not for current reference. We'll wrap it up here. There is a new video out for members only right now, so if you're a member on the channel, check that out. And big thank you to the members, of course, as well, for supporting me. It does mean a whole bunch. All your names are on screen right now, you beautiful people. If you're interested in supporting the channel, just hit the join button. It means a lot to me and helps me out a ton with these videos, so greatly appreciated. You get some bonus perks like extra videos that the rest of the members of the channel don't have access to, cool emojis, all that sort of stuff. So if that interests you, just hit the join button. And yeah, let's go wrap it up here. Have a few videos planned. I feel like I say that at the end of every video, but I don't know how to do an outro anymore. We retired the generic intros and outros a long time ago. You know, I'm sure they're missed, but yeah, it doesn't matter. None of you watch this point of the video anyway. I see the analytics, so I can say whatever I want here. Yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Bye.